Hello, mayors and mayoresses. How are you? I hope you're well. We're here to
Start another episode of this vanilla series. If you like it, please leave your like here at the beginning of the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please also check your subscription and make sure the hyper option is enabled. Please hype up this video because it really helps YouTube recommend this video to possibly new subscribers. And maybe they'll move here to Barbacini Island with us, and we'll all make progress together here on the island. Well, I'm already starting the video in a different way with the time lapse already on the screen. Because in the last episode, we built our oil complex here and we provided access to the pier at the oil port. Only on one side, we forgot to provide access to the other side. For those who don't remember, I divided this access to the industry here. 2 lanes, 1 express, and the other local. And we made this connection between the 2 lanes through access ramps. It kind of looks like a turnaround there, kind of like an elongated roundabout, sort of oval shaped. And I did it on one side, but I still need to do it on this other side. I think that with these 2 working together, one will complement the other. One will take away some possible traffic flow from the other, and I believe that neither of them will get overcrowded. For now, the traffic is pretty calm. And as you can see in the time lapse, I'm quite concerned about the math, about the lanes, making everything neat and symmetrical. Anyway, I have this obsessive compulsive disorder, and time lapse was something I wasn't doing that much. In the last episode, I brought it, and I'm bringing it again. I actually prefer doing things live with you all. But I did that so much in our series with mods, which has already ended, which was Barbossa's Bay, that I started to miss making time-lapse content with commentary. And I don't know, I think it gets a little boring doing everything live. So I'm going to try to bring some parts in time-lapse. I think it's good because I end up building more calmly. I also mentioned in the last episode this thing I have about building and presenting. I don't think I can do both things that well at the same time, but that's how it is. We keep trying, and that's how the city grows. And we keep building, and you all stay entertained. That's what this channel is for. The time lapse is over. Our petrochemical complex looks like this. We have 2 large piers here. Ships are moving, sailing in oil-rich waters, extracting oil right here alongside the platforms. And well, we have the entrance here where we have several storage parks. Here are the storage tanks. And here we have the capacity for 580 tons of storage. There are already 176,500 tons stored, so there's no need to add more, right? There's a lot, but it's not creating a long line of trucks because the only thing that stores stored resources is the raw material, which is oil, crude oil. If I put, for example, to complete the landscaping here, a storage yard like this one, let's see how it is. Look, just storage, 15,000 tons, right? It will hold many times more than what we're storing here, which is only 580 tons. And it's all kinds of products, okay? It's grain, it's oil, it's coal, it's cattle, it's wood, everything. Everything is stored here. That's why I think this is kind of exaggerated, right? It ends up causing that endless truck traffic we had trouble with in the last series. I don't know if that's going to happen here on the island. I hope not, especially since we've been playing with the city from the beginning, with the port updates. So it's been working from the start with these changes. But anyway, it would be really interesting if the game let us choose what we want to store here, because it doesn't make sense for me to have a storage yard in an oil industry and here I'm storing cattle, storing cotton. It would be really interesting. But anyway, this was the construction we did in time-lapse. So the 2 lanes, the local and the express, are parallel. Then the local lane goes a little more this way, so we have space to make the access and return ramps. So here, 2 lanes open up because one will exit here to the left, and the same thing on the other side, 2 lanes open up because one exits here to the left, to the right. They meet here and you can go right or left. Always, look, one lane receives the other, they join into two, and here it's the same thing, right? We have a lane here, it receives this other one coming in, and there are two, and things work this way, on this side and here, on this other side too. Here we got a loose end, which I intend to explore this way. Make a loop here on this peninsula, right? And bring it over here where we can make another plan for the future. Here, I don't know what, maybe a village, right? But that's for the future. The land is already prepared here. I think I can even extend it a little more here, just to symbolize that this will be a road that will come here, look, and go around this peninsula. And then we get some space over here. There are some things I want to address to make use of these spaces, right? We have a pretty big space here, and we also have a big space here when it comes to building the city. We have to see how it is. There's the pollution, right? A lot of air pollution comes here, so we can't really expand the city much. Maybe we can still expand a little bit here, but there are other types of pollution too, right? Soil pollution won't affect us, so that's fine. And Sonora doesn't have to worry anymore either. Even with the air pollution, I'm going to draw a map of the streets now to outline the buildable area here for the city. So here, look, there will be a little village whose layout was designed after the planning of this one, right? This one is well planned, while the other is less so. In general, it's really nice to have this break from the pattern. I think visually it will add a lot of beauty. Look, it turned out like this, right? We built where we could build, and now it's time to zone. Here on the main street, I'll put commercial buildings and the rest will be residential for residential adaptation. Look, everything is marked in green, which means it's a good condition. Here, it wouldn't work. See, this part is orange because it's too close to the industries. So it means we won't have any problem zoning around here. And I'll zone it the same way I did down here, which is low-density coastal housing in the North American style. Everything is growing really fast. I've already zoned this whole side and the demand is still high. Man, people, the guy just moved in and already died. Lando, that's a good hearse. This turned into a subdivision just like a suburb. This kind of subdivision happens a lot in Brazil, especially in more outlying neighborhoods. And I think I'm actually going to take this street and bring it over here to have another connection, another way in and out from this highway. I think a medium-sized roundabout wouldn't hurt anyone either. And, all right, we can keep going here. With our tree planting plan, the neighborhood already offers a lot of infrastructure, right? We recently added a lot of schools here. All right, it's done here. The houses are leveling up, and now there's another issue to use this space. I wanted to build an access with a train track and have a cargo station here. I don't know if this is just creating a problem for myself, since the traffic isn't heavy, or if it's preparing for the future when our city gets bigger. Well, we have a train track that passes through here, and there's this bay here where I said I wanted to build a port. Maybe I'll set something up in this area using this cargo port here. Look, simple, not the downloadable content one for now, okay, because this area will be more for oil. So there's not much need for it to be a downloadable content port that lets us build a really big port, right? But let's try to place it. It'll probably stay in the bottom here, not here. This bay is a deep water bay, so it fit well here. Regarding access, I think I would make an internal circuit around here, so I would leave just one here. I'll even put in a 3-lane road to handle the traffic here well, and I think it would work. We would have to make an access starting from here, maybe. What's the distance from here to here? Well, if it's 583 meters, then the middle is about 290. It would be somewhere around here, okay? So let's try to make this exit here and start drawing this circuit. I'm going to draw the streets here, marking the base of the mountain, so I know how far I can go here. All right, I'm going to curve this corner a bit here for the turn so it won't be so tight. All right, again. It's a case of storing all kinds of products, not just petroleum. Let's see how this will behave here. And now from this part here, I have to make the return, right? up to the entrance and exit that we established over here. For that, I believe we can make a relatively simple curve here. This one will work as both entrance and exit at the same time, so I'll need to make it two-way. Man, what an ugly corner. A big avenue shows up and then just narrows. I'll try to make it a bit nicer, echoing the 3 lanes here and connecting the lanes individually here. Look, I imagine there would be a little turnaround here. Yeah, I'll make it. I don't think I'll use it, but I think in real life it would exist. And here at this entrance, I don't know if I would put a roundabout. I think it would be a bit too much, right? I would also make direct access ramps. I think I can do it here. And since one will exit here, right? So up front here, I'll just put 2. And if you exited here before, right? Here you don't need to turn right, so I'll prohibit the right turn here. Well, there will have to be a traffic light here. I don't think there's any other way, right? But the lane math is well applied and we hope it works out. And that's how it turned out, this connection. Is there an exit around here? I think I'm going to make a little extension here just to make use of it, put a turnaround at the end here so the guy can get out, you know, make this tight little turn here. I prefer to only exit here and use this one just for entering. Except for this million crosswalks, it's not even going to be an area where people will walk a lot. And that's good. I hope there won't be any traffic problems, so here we have good infrastructure. If there are too many problems, maybe I'll make this connection here straight to the highway, but for now, I'll leave it like this. As you can see here at the port, we have some improvements, right? Additional docks that increase the loading and unloading speed. I don't think we need a rail connection for now. That's what I was considering, right? Actually, but it would be too close, you see? So, what do you think? I'm not sure if it would work to run a track through here, you know? Because you can't leave it elevated at this height here, at least 6 meters, which is enough for vehicles to pass underneath. Look, it's just too steep, right? It's a very sudden slope. Here it worked, man. I went a little further back here. Look, it wouldn't work here, okay? But going a little further back here, it works. It's realistic, isn't it? Unless I raise the height of this port a little bit. Okay, let's try. Hold on. I'm gonna have to redo everything now. Let me see. Here it's 2 meters above sea level. Man, if we can get at least 5 meters here, then going up to 7 will really help a lot. Let's see if this narrative holds up. Look, it's elevated, okay? So, would it already be possible to build a port here? He allows it, so that's it, man. I'll just create the ramp here for this track and let's go. I'll even put it a little more over here, right? Because the more space we get to lay the train tracks, the better it is here. It won't work unless I take a little bit of this water here, all right? I think what changes here is a bit of this height, right? I think we gained the 5 meters here on the dock, but that's okay, right? It looks pretty natural, still really amazing. Now I'm gonna smooth out this part, right? So we can have a smooth descent here and redo what we had done for me. It's going to be a bit of work for you guys to come here, you know, at the cut. And now the railway connection is already elevated and ready to happen here. I think a little barrier here would look nice, right? With the tension of this land, and if it's good, if there's something that exists. On the other side, look, on a very gentle and easy slope, so to speak. The main railway line that we have here, this one, it's here. To connect with this track here, I'm gonna make the descent here, okay? Look, 3 degrees of inclination, it's fine. Connect here, go around, okay? And make the connection here. On the descent, I think I'll even remove some of these trees because here, since there was construction, right? It's natural that there aren't any trees in this part. Well, and the right thing would also be to provide access here, right? To the tunnel. I think this is going to be a little more complicated, yes. Would it work or would it be too high? If I lower it, it won't fit. Let's see. Bring it here. I'll try to connect it here. Look, up to here, it's okay. All right. Here's the passage to the other side. So that's it. Look, the connection is made here, serving our port. And now it's time for the moment of truth. I'm going to create a route. We don't have a train station garage. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Maybe right here, right? This is the train yard. That's the real official name, train yard. But here you can create it. Look, even without having a train yard built. It's because I had already built a train yard off camera to unlock the train tracks, right? So I could build train tracks. Is that why I'm able to use the cargo railway route tool here? Well, the external train connection we have is here. Look, there's only one on the whole map, so let's try it. I don't think it's going to work. We're going to need the yard. Yeah, look, it's already showing here, no vehicles. The problem with this train yard is that it has exits on both sides, right? I wanted an exit just over here, and we only have one train yard, right? So then there's a small one. They could really think about adding a small train yard, a smaller one, right? Anyway, give us more options, because the placement here is going to be really bad. Only if I put it over here or over here, it would end up with a lot of overpasses, right? Back and forth, that's not cool. Well, this will be left for a future episode, mainly because it will take a lot of time and a pretty complicated logistical issue. So I'd rather take my time and do something well done, right? I'm thinking of doing it here. Look, this is an area where we can't have a city because of the air pollution. We can have a train yard here, place it on a street here, and make this track. Go around here and enter the train yard. Then go around here and return to the network. And then this highway we had here, I was going to leave it elevated so I could run these various tracks over here to this side, all underneath the highway. I think it would look like a realistic project and make more sense than having a bunch of train track viaducts going over a highway. So that was more or less the idea, but it will have to wait for the future. I'm also wanting to mix things up a bit, so it's not just about logistics. Right, we need to work on public transportation here. I think I've already started the next episode, focusing here on the main village and finishing up here. Look, this part, right? Here we could make a small park, right? A green area. Look how many people are waiting for the bus. And let's see if people use their bikes a little less. I never thought I'd say that, right? But if people use their bikes a little less, I even removed the bike incentive policy. Even so, everyone is still riding. This bike mechanic is really buggy. The folks at Paradox and Ice Flake Studios probably already know about this, so I hope the first patch of the year fixes it. Look here, there's traffic, but there are no vehicles. It's bike traffic. And here I'm thinking about doing something, but I don't know if I should. Modern buildings, there's a block here that was opened up. Modern buildings to separate this old tourist area from the historic center. Anyway, let me know what you think. I want to hear from you, okay? Anyway, thank you very much to our council members whose names are appearing right now in the credits. As a way of saying thanks, you are the pillar of this channel. My sincere thanks also to the secretaries whose names are also appearing in the credits right now as a way of saying thank you. They get early access to this video. A special thank you to Orbital, Giovanni Freitas, Jose Fernando Nagal, Pedro Mendez, and Rafuxo for being the vice mayors here on the channel. And also, thank you very much. Thank you. You not a member, but still watching to the end, commenting, liking, and more. You're amazing. You're awesome. We're always together. A big hug, and see you next time. See you.